Once you see misdirected effort, the hardest part isn't changing. It's resisting the urge to punish yourself while you wait. That surprised me. I thought clarity would feel like relief. Like once I could name what was wrong, the path forward would show up immediately. It didn't. What showed up first was guilt. Not the loud kind, not shame. A quiet, persistent weight. Because once you see it clearly, once you can put logic to it, once it stops feeling abstract, there's nowhere else for responsibility to land. You can't say you didn't know. You can't say you were trapped. You can't even say you were confused. So the only place left to point is yourself. During COVID, I was working as a senior graphic designer for an aesthetics company. I was working from home, and honestly, on the surface, everything was fine. I had a routine. I was grateful I could work remotely. The job wasn't hard. Zoom meetings were pointless, sure. Working with people who didn't really understand the role was annoying. But none of that felt like a problem big enough to change my life. What did start bothering me was something quieter. I was getting comfortable without a path forward. Life was getting more expensive, and I could feel myself slowly being defined by a role I never intended to stop at. I've never seen myself as just a graphic designer. I've always seen myself as someone who leads, someone whose responsibility and compensation eventually reflect experience and judgment. And that's where the guilt came in. Not because I hated my job, but because I could see that staying comfortable too long would quietly decide my future for me. And that's uncomfortable. Not because you hate yourself, but because agency arrives before direction. You know something needs to change, but you don't yet know what deserves your effort instead. So you sit in this strange space, not confused, not relieved, not empty, just alert. And that alertness creates pressure. Because for men, especially, waiting is not a neutral state. Adult men are not loved for existing. They're valued for producing, improving, providing, evolving. That's not a complaint. It's an observation. If you're not moving forward, something feels wrong. If you're not earning more, learning more, becoming more, there's a low-grade anxiety that settles in. Like you're falling behind, even when nothing is actively falling apart. So when clarity shows up without a plan, the instinct is immediate. Do something, anything. Change jobs, start a project, reinvent yourself, optimize, hustle, burn the old version down. Because doing nothing feels like decay. But that instinct is dangerous. Not because action is bad, but because premature action is just panic with momentum. It feels productive, it looks decisive, but it's usually just guilt trying to escape itself. I had to sit with the fact that the pressure I felt wasn't coming from confusion. It was coming from value. From the idea that if I wasn't constantly evolving, constantly proving relevance, constantly increasing output, then something about me was failing. And awareness doesn't erase that pressure, it intensifies it. Because now you can see the mechanism, but you're still inside it. This is the middle space, where you've outgrown the old way of spending energy, but haven't yet built the new container. Where rest feels suspicious, where comfort feels earned but temporary, where doing nothing feels like lying to yourself, and doing everything feels dishonest too. So you wait. Not passively, not numbly. You wait while paying attention. And that's the part most people skip, because waiting with awareness feels like exposure. You're not distracted anymore. You're not anesthetized. You're not hiding inside motion. You're just watching. Your impulses, your urges to fix, your desire to be seen as valuable again. That waiting isn't weakness, it's restraint. It's refusing to build your next phase on guilt, fear, or self-contempt. And for men especially, that's hard, because the world doesn't punish men for resting. It punishes them for becoming irrelevant. So the temptation is always there, to turn awareness into urgency, to rush the next version before the current one has even finished explaining itself. But the middle space isn't asking you to act. It's asking you not to lie. Not to pretend you've solved it. Not to punish yourself for not knowing yet. Not to confuse motion with direction. This isn't the part where things get fixed. This is the part where you stop turning clarity into self-attack. Where you let the pressure exist without letting it decide for you. I don't have answers here. This isn't resolution. This is just me recognizing that seeing the problem didn't mean I had to immediately replace my life. It meant I had to stop pretending that every uncomfortable pause was failure. This is the middle. And staying here without collapsing back into comfort or leaping into chaos might be the most disciplined thing I've done in a very long time. This is the endless state. I'll see you in the next one.